Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another monthly reading of the month of July 2020. So, um, this month we have, as usual, the three cards that help us to navigate through this month and also take advantage of the energies of the month. Um, we are we are going to enter, let's say, the second half of 2020, and really the letters are telling us about it. They're really kind of helping us understand what has happened and what can we expect in general terms, anyway. So the first card, which is also the general energy of the month, is Vav. And if you have followed these videos or if you know something about the Hebrew letters, you know that Vav is also it also means kind of the hook or also the bridge. It's kind of a bridge between two spheres of reality or two parts of ourselves, and it really has to do also with the solar plexus, so really just below the heart chakra. And this is really the bridge of the hook that actually acts like a point, like a joining point between, in this case, two big different stages in the year. So what we have lived in the first part of the year is going to be quite different to the second part of the year. And the first part of the year, if you have, of course, lived in this world, it has been kind of a roller coaster ride in many ways. There's a lot of disruption. There has been a lot of breaking through the habits and the ways that we used to live our lives to really scramble everything, to kind of dissolve also some of the structures that were holding on, that were sort of directing our life. And Vav is helping us to kind of focus and make this passage go from one side to the next one, and it signals also that whatever we have done in the first part of the year that has allow us to reflect and go inside and decide what is important, reprioritize what is good for us and align to our soul. This month is really where we are going to sort of really put all of our ducks in a row and really decide what is it that we're going to do the next month, or how are we going to start as well manifesting or grounding all these ideas and inspirations we had in the first half of the year 2020 in to be able to put them into practice, to be able to put them into the earth, into actions. So it's bringing this light, the light of our soul, the light that we have received in our inspirations, into the matter, into form, to really create some form out of it. And it is also the idea about Vav is also the vertebral column, and it is also talking about the traumas and the wounds that we have allocated throughout our lives in this part of the body. But it is also about creating healing through an action that is completely opposite to what we normally do because of that wound. For instance, if we are someone who is suffering for being lonely and we kind of complain because we feel always separated from the world, that's something that normally we have been kind of that we have been growing up with, and it is something that we have uh, cultivated in our lives because we feel lonely, we feel separated, so we isolate ourselves more, so we keep separated and go and so on and so on. So it's always like this vicious circle. So if we want to stop that, it is also the opposite action that will actually enable us to go through that and to go on the other side, on the other end. And this is then go out and encounter the world. And of course, it's frightening maybe in the beginning. Maybe you have been hurt and everything, but you can also do it baby steps. Baby steps. So you do one small thing at a time. Go and talk to someone you know. Go to talk to someone you know just because you go to shop in their store, maybe. Just little things, or go out and put yourself in an open mood. Even that change in attitude inside of us, and just to um, make an intention within yourself to say, today I'm going to be open for people to to be talking to, or to meet people. And that idea, that sole intention, will really open your energy to actually be able to be more receptive to other people's energy. So that's an idea of how also an action can heal ourselves in areas where we have been traumatized, let's say, or hurt. The second card is the advice, and the advice is the letter of Dalet, which is actually the same theme, because Dalet is talking about, if Vav is the bridge, Dalet is the doorway, Dalet is the gateway to which we go into another reality. So if we have the first part of the year, we have kind of envision this new reality because the old one has just crushed down. So we are now kind of like having a clearer idea of what we want, and we can see that, and we are going to be living that, or grounding that in the second part of the year. Dalet is really the door through which we have to pass or go through before we actually encounter that new reality, that new life, that new something. Maybe it's just one area of our lives, but some new world, let's say. And I'm not saying that the second half of the year we're going to go from from black to white in 6 months, because it's impossible. I think it's going to take us a couple of years to actually see new stages or new structures of the new world. But anyway, so Dalet is just also telling us to let go of that old thing, of that old clothing that we were using before 2020, and that is no longer fitting us. That's why we had to get rid of that. We had to throw that away, and to be able to put our new clothes to enter through that door that the LED is offering us. And that path, that doorway, it is also the idea that we might also during this time, during July, encounter something that will really revolutionize our lives, so that, or we can encounter a person that will revolutionize our lives, or encounter a way of perceiving the world that will revolutionize our way of perceiving our lives right now. And we know that the whole life is always about perception. There's no one reality. There's no one reality that is truthful for everyone. It's always about perception. There are rules in the universe that actually allows us to create the reality that we perceive. But there are millions or billions of realities, and each one of us, each individual, has one reality that we perceive, and that's why we see it outside as well. And as we agree to in a collective, in, I don't know, that the sky is blue, then the sky is blue, and that's why the sky is blue, and so on with so many things. With the way we see that the abundance is distributed in this world, and in the way that we think that the government should be, etc. But I'm not going to go so far right now. Is what the LED is bringing us this month is that probably we can meet someone, something, some idea, some new way that will revolutionize our lives, and so that we can move into another reality, another dimension, a higher dimension where there's more light in our lives. That's all of it. And actually, the result or the gift for this month is Shin. I hope you can see it there. Shin is really so obvious that Shin has to be here, because Shin is really, Shin is related to the inner perception, but Shin is living or seeing grace in action. So living in grace, living with grace, from grace, whatever you want to call it. But what is grace, actually? What is living in grace or gracefully? It is really kind of not living in the chaos, not living with the chaos or with the drama, but living with the alignment that the light, sorry, or the unconditional love is bringing into our lives, and we see everything orchestrated organically, magnificently, precisely, just like custom made. So the the piece of clothing that we were trying on in the LED that we took off because it was no longer ours, so that we can go through the portal through this gateway, is actually the grace fitting piece of clothing, because it's really made to custom. So it's really tailored to our life. And it's just so precious, so magnificent, so perfect that we just see how grace is really landing in our lives. And this is the gift of the month of July. And of course, to be able to perceive this power, to be able to perceive this creative power that we have, because basically it's not that something is landing from heavens because God wants and something like that. No, it is really something that we have co-created. God really is not busy with that, or the source is just emanating this light to everything, and we are these receptacles or these containers of that. But our work is really to receive that. It's not to ask for them to give us, because that's a given. I mean, the light is always giving, always, always emanating, and always, always giving. So the gift of Shin is really the gift of the grace in action, or to live gracefully, let's say. So out of chaos and gracefully, in a perfect synchronicity with our soul and with the alignment of our soul, and just seeing how everything it unfolds in our lives in the perfect way. I hope you have a wonderful month of July, and I see you next time.